We consult businesses on how to be sellable. Like, we don't say that, but like, we place an operations manager so that they can manage the operations. So to identify constraints, this is important. Businesses are very easy to tell if they're winning or losing because they measure that by money, right? Are we making money or are we not? That is it. And so the biggest constraint would be the inhibitor of, are we making money or are we not? So what is the biggest problem that's limiting the company from making money? There should be process. And so to say like, hey, I'm going to consult you. Like, wow, you could try, bud, but like, about what? But what becomes a lot more interesting is like, okay, cool. We focus on the 4 like functions of the business: lead acquisition, sales, fulfillment, ascension. And then we figure out where your biggest constraint is, which is like, constraints are like, are we making money? Are we not making money? What's the inhibitor of us making money? And then we focus on these. And so every single week we identify your biggest constraint through the tools that you either have or we implement into the business so that we can solve your main constraints. Like, that is the consulting. And that sounds a lot more appealing and sellable than I'm going to consult you. We give this step and then this step and then this step and this step. And this is what the meetings look like. And I think you could keep them like even simpler than Edge of like, we just solve the constraints. But then it's the problem of like, if they don't have the windows, the workflows, the playbooks, how does that happen? Right. And then once you get clear on like product, sales becomes a lot easier. The scorecards are important because it's like we're measuring sales, but I think we're putting the cart before the horse. And what we should actually get clear on is like what we are selling before we try to sell it. Right now we're saying we advise, but like, we advise on what and how do we do it? And once we get into the details and like we sound smart because we're like in the details, that's where company owners are like, oh, I've never heard of that before. Oh, this is really interesting. This guy might be able to help me, because it's not this broad chunked up term that means something different to every person. It's we're going to find the biggest problem. We're going to identify the biggest problem. This is how we're going to identify the biggest problem. And then this is like the things that we do to solve them.